introduction of everybody, so please invite all our friends from Montpellier. First of all, we are once more, we are very happy to have you here. I hope you are enjoying your stay here, and I think we are going to have a very good afternoon treating a very important subject for these guys and girls that are looking to try to understand how to try to make some kind of international mobility, how they can improve their formation using this kind of opportunity. So please, let's start by Lionel.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Altair. Yes, we are really enjoy to be there. I confirm. Yeah, I'm Lionel Torres, professor at the university. I'm director of PolyTech Montpellier, and I'm professor in microelectronic design in general. And I'm going to make a short presentation of the school also with all my colleagues.
Oui, I'm Eric Anglaret, professor in material science and deputy director for international affairs. Super alegre to be here.
Hi, I'm Denis Servelem. I'm professor at PolyTech Montpellier in mechanic and head of department mechanic industrial structure, and my specialty is welding.
Okay, good morning. So my name is Catherine Allium, and I'm a professor also at the University of Montpellier. I teach statistics and ecology, and I'm here to represent the Department of Water Resource.
Hello, I'm Fanny Sarost. I'm a MSc student, mechanic industrial structure, and we're going to present you our formation and our school. Hola, my name is Léonie Rougerie. I'm a student in mechanical engineering with Fanny in the specialty of welding.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sandra Durand. My name is Sandra and I'm the head of the international office, and I will tell you a few words about the international office and what we do for international students.
Hi, I'm Laetitia Palmade. I'm professor of food sciences. I'm also the coordination of international relations for the biological and food engineering department. And I'm also the coordinator of the summer school flow. We have yeah. Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Hill. I'm a fourth year student at PolyTech Montpellier in biological and food engineering department here.
Thank you, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Altair Pereira. I'm a professor in the Materials Department of Engineering School. I'm here to talk a bit for you about the double degree agreement that we have with Université de Montpellier and the possibilities we have at the moment nowadays for national mobility, and so we try to explain our doubts or something like that. And I do ask to João Pedro introduce himself.
So, hi everyone, my name is João Pedro. I'm a student who study at PolyTech Montpellier in materials engineering. I graduated last semester. I'm graduating at URGS this semester. Bon. So, okay, yeah, I graduated last semester in materials engineering at PolyTech Montpellier. And I participated at a forcing program with Altair as my coordinator professor.
So, as you can see, I think with all these qualified people here, you are very lucky to have this opportunity to try to answer your doubts. So we are going to start to have a kind of overview of the Université de Montpellier, also the Polytech Montpellier. The first one to speak will be the director, as usual. So, Lionel, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Altair, for the nice introductions and also for your welcome here. We are very happy and very enjoy to be part with you this week. I have some question for you. Who wanted to go in Europe? Yeah, only one, two, three? Okay, not more? Yeah, that is good. And in France, who wanted to go in France? Yeah. And in Montpellier? Ah, yeah, that is perfect. You're right. You're right. Okay. Well, I'm just going to give you an overview of what is university, also what is Polytech Montpellier, just to mention also what are in fact the courses that you can follow in Polytech Montpellier. I don't. Yeah. Up. Thank you. I assume it is this one. Okay. Uh, I have a question for Andrea. Andrea, you made your PhD in Montpellier, right? And it was in which year? which which when you obtained your PhD in Montpellier? Oh, 96. And just I'm going to explain you a little bit a long story with your university because we have a very long cooperations and up. Yeah, because in fact we start the cooperation in the year 90. We got in fact the first PhD program where it was in fact initiated by two persons. The first one is perhaps you know Ricardo Reis, which is professor here. I think it's computer engineering department, and Michel Robert, which is professor at Polytech Montpellier, but it was also president of our university. And they decided, in fact, to launch this program of PhD programs. And the first one is Fernando Moraes. And perhaps you know Fernando. Fernando is professor at the PUC, which is another university here. Yeah. Okay, okay. And after we continue, in fact, to have a new program. Where we start with Capes Coffee program. We got a second Capes Coffee program. I spent in 98 3 months here inside your university because we start a program of cooperations. And we continue with 5 PhD students, then 11 PhD students. That means that we continue to have a huge program with computer engineering. Also, I think we have some PhD sandwich with material science. I don't remember, 1 or 2, I think. You was invited to the teacher also. Then we got the first Graphitech program, and the Graphitech program is very nice program because that allow you to have, in fact, grant to come in France, and that allow also to have a grant for our students in Montpellier to come in Oaks. And then we organize also the Graphitech Symposium, which is a huge symposium between France and Brazil. We signed, I think it was 2017 or 16, I don't remember exactly, but the double degree with UX and PUC in computer engineering and material science. We obtained also a pre-falc program. Pre-falc is also it's one of the reasons that we are here, in fact, because this program allows to have, in fact, nano school, summer school, or exchange with Yache University, and you are also part of this delegation. Thanks to be there, and also Venezuela, yes, and yours. Okay, and we have obtained new Graphitech program in 2019, and now we start, and we got a very positive response a few weeks ago that we obtained a new Graphitech program, which the name is Rhythm, where it's more or less about Internet of Things with material science, with computer engineering, with microelectronic design. And that means that we are going to have this program which is open for I think 2 years and 2 to 4 years, because I think we are going to have an evaluation in 2 years normally. And that means that normally I think that we are going to have a grant during 4 years. That means that almost this 15 last year, we got 50 student mobility from Brazilian students. You mentioned 35 from UX and undergraduate students. That is really impressive. We got also some 20 PhD program sandwich. We have more than 30 common scientific publications. We reach 5 Graphitech program, 1 pre-fac program, Coffee Cube. And also I heard that we have Erasmus program also with the university and your university. That means that currently it's more or less than 30 professors involved in the cooperations, which is, for us, you are a major and a very important partner of our university, and thanks for that, and thanks to the university to support also this program. Well, now I'm going perhaps to give you some information about Montpellier. And where is Montpellier? Montpellier is in south of France, near of the Mediterranean Sea, 10 kilometers. I think that generally you have a good remember of your stay in Palavas and Carnot. Okay, I think it's a very nice place to be enjoy and to go to the Mediterranean Sea. It's a very nice city because it's an historic city. Currently, it's not a big city, in fact, not so huge compared to the cities that you have in Brazil, because I think Porto Alegre is more or less 1 million, 2 millions, yeah, 2 millions. Okay, and Montpellier is a very, very small city, in fact. It's a very village. It's a village, and it's about 300 people living, in fact, in Montpellier. But it's a very dynamic city because currently, I think it's about 80,000 students are living in Montpellier. That means that more than 25% of the populations of Montpellier are students. That means that we have a very huge dynamic inside the city. You have, in fact, a very pleasant climate, and you have two universities. One is the University of Montpellier, and another one which is a university which is more about human and human science. Well, it's also Montpellier. It's a very long story of university because it is currently the oldest one in Europe. This created in the 13th century, and after, of course, we have a very nice garden, which is a botanic garden, which is from the 16th century. We have one of the oldest faculty of science also in France. And we are also a very young university. Why? Because we merged several universities. We merged, in fact, two universities, and we create a new one. And this one is today's University of Montpellier. That means that we have, at the same time, a very long story of university at Montpellier, and a new one that were created a few years ago. Well, currently, if we like, I don't know if it's very important to have a ranking, but you know, the president of the university or our ministry, they are really, really engaged to see, in fact, this kind of a ranking. Currently, is the fifth largest university in France, is the first French most innovative university. What we call most innovative university is in terms of content, in terms of partnership with companies, is one of the best university in ecology and biodiversity. It's in the top 3 at the world level, which is quite impressive. And currently, if we take a look to all the domain, we are in the top 200 in the Shanghai ranking. Currently, it's about 50,000 students, which is quite important. I don't know, what is exactly the number of students in your university? It's 30,000? Yeah, okay. And here it's about 50,000, and 15% are international students. That means that we attract also a lot of international and foreigner students in Montpellier, because it is a big city for the students. Well, you have also PhD students, where what is impressive is the number of PhD students coming abroad, which is about 50%. And we have scientific department. We have also a set of international relationship partners, of course, in all the continents. Well, we are not alone, of course, inside the university. Polytech Montpellier is an engineering school. I'm going to explain you a little bit what is an engineering school. Most of you are in the engineering school currently? Yeah? Okay. and I'm going to explain what is an engineering school with the French model. Okay, but we have also other, of course, part inside the university, because you are going to have the technical university, you are going to have also the medical university, you are going to have the management, you have the economy, you have medicine, you have also the education. That means that, of course, we are cover most of the domain of what we can have inside the university. Just a few words. It's something that we claim also because it's quite important, is that French engineering is something which is particular. You are in engineering curriculum, and in France, when you are going to take a look to the engineering school, you have in France about 200 engineering schools. Some of them are fully independent, some of them are inside the university. It is a case of Polytech Montpellier, and we are now considered as what we call in France grande école. What means grande école? That means that we have a selective, and we are going to make a selections before to start, of course, the engineering students, and to deliver during 5 years after the baccalaureate, the bachelor. No, it's not the bachelor. It's what do you call it's university examinations. The vestibular, right. It's the term that the vestibular. 5 times after the vestibular, we are going to deliver, in fact, the engineer diploma. And that is clear that today, most of the selections of the students that we want to go to engineering study are inside, in fact, the engineering school in France. Okay. Well, Polytech Montpellier is not alone. Polytech Montpellier is also inside a very huge network, which is a Polytech network. Today it's about 15 schools. It's about 100,000 working engineers, and the Polytech network is trained 10% of the French student engineer, which is quite impressive because that means that we are very a task force of engineering in France. And of course, we are going to share with all the other Polytech in France. You see 2 in Paris, Lille, Nancy, Orléans, and so on. That means that you can, if you wanted to join all the Polytech, you can do that without any problem because you have a nice connection between the Polytech. But we are going, in fact, to have some joint program. That means that we have joint value, we are joint admission process, we are joint also integrated preparatory class programs, and we have joint partnership and international program. That means that, for instance, for the Brafitech, the Brafitech is also, and one of the other partner is Polytech Marseille. That means that if you're interested to go to Marseille because you think that is more interesting to follow some lecture, that is possible. Okay. Well, we have also stronger, and we try to define also value, respect, and open-mindedness, high standard creativity, responsibility, integrity, teamwork, and preparations. And we try to inside, of course, during the lecture, during your life in Montpellier, to promote also all this value. And I think that you are going to give few words after about how is Polytech Montpellier and the student life. And I think you can explain also if he retrieve, in fact, all this value. Well, I'm going just to go now to Polytech Montpellier. Polytech Montpellier is about 54 years of existence. We are going to see that we have 6 training areas. I'm going to describe after the training area. And I think that you are going to have also presentations and detailed presentations of some of the domains that we train. It's about 1,400 students in training inside the school. It's almost 300 graduates per year. We have also a very, very strong cooperation with companies, of course. We have about 17 international agreements. We have about 130 teachers and researchers. working for the trend part, and about 50 administrative and technical staff. It's not huge, but it's something which is really concentrated on engineering. Yeah. We discussed about ranking, and of course, we know that currently we rank what all is possible to rank. That means that if we take a look to the ranking of engineering school, today we are in the top 10 of what we call the post-bac engineering school, which is a good result. And we are in the top 3 of the A group of engineering school. You have 4 group, A+, A, B, and C. And we are in the top 3 of the group A of engineering school in France. Well, we have also something which is very specific. We developed since more than 10 years also some activities about sustainable development engagement. We are really engaged in these directions, engaged by the diversity of the public. We have, of course, of the gender equality, both students with handicap, students are going to have some specific profile. We obtain some national and international prize for the sustainable development engagement. We train all the students, and they have lecture on sustainable development also, because you know that climate crisis is something which is very impressive, and we wanted to be sure that students that we are going to train are going to have also some informations about what is the climate, what is the reasons of this disaster, and how we can try also to find a solution together. It's also the main idea of this kind of course. We evaluate the carbon impact of the school. We try also to have a carbon reduction plan, and we have more or less of 50 action each year to work together between professor, between personal staff, with the students to different action, and to try to also to discuss with you of what could be the sustainable society that we want to construct and to build together. Well, perhaps some slide. You want to continue, Rick, or as you want? But okay, we try to manage. It's not your problem. And just to give you what is an engineering degree in France, we have something which is quite particular, because in fact it's scientific knowledge. That is normal. You are going to be engineer. That means that you need to train to scientific domain and to scientific field. And clearly it's a selective admissions to go in engineering school, and the admissions inside our school is also by the scientific part. But it's not only. Not only this part is important for engineering. It's also to have managerial skills. Normally you are going to have a staff after and you work. You are going to manage budgets, you are going to manage projects, and that means that it is important also to have a corporate culture and to have a human culture also. That means that one part of the course are also on the managerial skills. And after, it's necessary to have also a link with companies, a link with research, and that means that it's necessary to have a practical experience. And we have mandatory internship or intensive lab or to complete, in fact, your training to become an engineer. Well, just to explain a little bit what is the French way of education at the university. It's sometimes it could be very complex from other country, and we have a system which is complex, really. It's not so easy. We try to have something very, very, very simple. Okay, normally here you have the high school. That means that you are going to have the baccalaureate, the vestibular, and then you have different possibilities. You can make a bachelor, a master, and PhD. That means that you are going to be at the university to have your bachelor and master and the PhD. But you have another way, is in fact to have what we call preparatory class, which is intensive scientific part, mathematics and physics, chemistry, also biology for people who wanted to go to a bioengineering school. And after, you start 3 years of engineering degree. And here you are going to be connected, of course, with industry, with research lab. And if you're rich, you can also continue in PhD. In fact, to go to the PhD, you have, in fact, 2 ways. But here, clearly, we have a huge selections. Just to give you a number, we have 25,000 candidates each year. And inside our preparatory class, we are going to have only 200 students. It's just to give, in fact, the ratio of selections that we have at the entry of the engineering school. Okay? Yeah, if you want to complete.
Yeah, I just want to precise that for those of you who would come through the Graphitech sketch into a double degree sketch, you would arrive at the 4th year here. So you would spend 2 years with us, 4 semesters. You would arrive the 4th year. The first semester will be courses. In the second semester, you will be half-time courses and half-time a long internship. Now for all departments, it will be 4 months at the end of the 4th year. Most of you would do that in a lab at the university for the first year. And then in the last year, there will be the first semester for courses, lectures, and the second semester for an internship. And here you will have to go to a company. So during the 2 years, you will have around 10 months of internships, typically half in a lab of the university, half in a company.
And what is mentioned is very important. That means that when you are going to arrive in Polytech Montpellier, and I think it was your case, you arrive here in the 4 year. That means that you are going to spend 2 years or 2 semesters, first semester with us. The last semester is an internship. In general, the internship could be done everywhere in the world. You can come back in Brazil if you want to make the internship, it's not your problem. And after, so you are going to have your defense of internship. And the defense, it's a common defense that we can do with your professor here. That means that you have the chance, in fact, you are to arrive, in fact, in the middle here of the engineering degree. Well, what are the domains now? And we are going to present some domains. You are going to see that we have 6 domains. One which is more about electronics and microelectronics and robotics. Another one which is water science. Another one which is mechanics. Another one about computer science. Another one on material science. And another one which is more in biology in general, and I think that Laetitia is going to present, which is also linked to food science. That is what we call initial training, and we have also something which is specific, but you are not really concerned by these specialities, because it is in what we call under apprentice. That means that is an alternance between the companies and the school, which is quite different. But we have also a diploma in embedded systems, in water and civil mechanics. In mechanics, where is Denis? And Denis, which is at the head of this department, which is about structural industrial mechanics, and another one on informatics. Okay? That means what is important for you is to retain that you have 6 domains: electronic, water, mechanic, computer science, material, and biology. Currently, and I'm going to announce here where we have the Graphitech. The Graphitech program could be joined on electronics, on computer science, and material science. Okay? We have discussions this morning to open some place next year in food science and water science. And we are going to try to submit, I don't know when exactly, September, October, a Graphitech program, especially for water science and food science. Okay? And I think that you are going to have some indications by your professor or by the international affair to mention when we are going to open, in fact, some place inside the food science and the water science. Okay? There is some students from food science? No? From water science? No? Yeah? Okay. That means if you are, yeah, yeah. Ah, you know? Ah, you was at the summer school. Oh, okay, okay. And you want to come back now? Okay. Welcome. That is clear for the moment? Yeah? Okay. If you have some question, of course, you can interrupt me anywhere. Okay? Perhaps to present a little bit, I want to be sure, there is some students for computer science here? Yeah, okay. For computer science, in fact, just to describe a little bit the course and the lectures that we are going to have inside this domain. It's more oriented to information system and design, to data engineering, to business intelligence, and data scientist. And also there is a part about software engineering and software architecture, and another part which is important, which is management, accounting, and finance. In fact, this domain is very interesting because it's a mix between management and informatics, okay? And that open, in fact, of different work that you can do after in terms of audit, consulting for huge company in informatics and computer science, okay? Yeah.
No comment. Nowadays, with the present rules of BrevTech, it's not allowed to give a scholarship for a student of computer science in Brazil. He needs to be a student in computer engineering. So this was possible in the past, but that rule has changed in the last 2-3 years, I think.
We are going to check that, of course. Computer science management, I'm not going to describe Latin mode, but you are going to have analysis, design, and organization of information system in general. You are going to have software development and project management. And here you can see the jobs that you can do after IT developer, IT architect, consultant, audit, PhD thesis also, of course. Okay. Another one, which is microelectronics and automatics. What we call microelectronics and automatics, microelectronics design in transistor. You have some students which are interested by microelectronics? Yeah, okay. And this one is microelectronics and control engineering. That means that you can follow microelectronics track or robotic tracks. In fact, we have 2 tracks inside, in fact, this diploma. And what we do electronics and microelectronics. You can do electronic engineering and robotics, and you can do also computer science and industrial informatics, in fact. And what we are going, in fact, to work, we are going to work from the microelectronics to the system design. And we can imagine, in fact, to work from microelectronics to control robot, microelectronics to control some object, Internet of Things, and so on. And if we take a look to the course that we have control engineering course, electronics, we have computer science, so of course we have mathematics, analog microelectronics, digital microelectronic design, robotics. That means that you are going to have a huge panel of lecture. And if you want to prefer to do a robotic track, it's possible. If we prefer microelectronics, you do the microelectronic track. Okay. Material science, perhaps Eric.
Any students for material science? So I will say 1 or 2 words, but then I will give you the microphone because you will be the best one to explain the differences between our 2 departments. I guess we have been exchanging students from material science for a long time, so it looks like the curricula, the topics are quite compatible. So that's a regular department of material science. Here I show you the classes of materials that we study, which are the classical classes, the regular classes. We have an emphasis, special emphasis on glasses for historical reasons, because in Montpellier there were lots of research and innovation on glasses. Ceramics, of course, metals, alloys, polymers, and all the composite materials that you can do by mixing this kind of materials. And our students, when they graduate, they go working for like 1/3 in the transportations domains, cars, planes, aeronautics, in the companies that synthesize and transform materials, in the energy domains and in different domains that are illustrated here. As you material students know, the basis, the background is balanced between mechanics, physics, and chemistry. Of course, the heart of the department is based on the study of the science and engineering of these materials. And as Lionel underlined, we are doing an emphasis on sustainable development. So for 10 years in our department, we teach life cycle analysis, durability, eco-design. Yeah, that's the basis of the materials department. Juan Pedro, would you like to explain what are the main differences or the main similarities between your departments here and our department?
So, I think the main difference between URGS and Polytech Montpellier, it's in the part of design and the life cycle analysis we don't have here at URGS. And in Polytech, it's a very huge part of the course. And this part is very important, as Lionel said, because in terms of the climate changes and the carbon cycles, we made all these classes in Polytech, which we don't have here. And the other thing I would say, it's there at Polytech, we have a lot of more practical works than here in URGS, because in every topic we have a practical topic as well. So we can check all the equipments, we do all the techniques of characterization and everything. So here at URGS you can make as we call a bolsa de iniciação científica, who will work at a laboratory. But in Montpellier we have a practical activity for each of these domains, which is very important. And also at the domain of glasses, here it's not an obligated discipline. And for me it was quite of interesting to have a different look at glasses and ceramics. I did my 2 internships at piezoelectric ceramics, one of the National Center of Scientific Research, or the CNRS, and the other one in a French startup at Marseille. And I want to come back in France to do my PhD as well. So I think these are the main difference between URGS and Polytech, are the eco-design, the life cycle, also the project management, who we don't see a lot of here because we have a proper engineer for that, as we call the product engineer. And in France we see a lot of project management, which is very important for an engineer who start a project, and I think it's are the main difference. I even did I didn't do a lot of mechanics because I I did more of chemical and physical stuff. Because of mechanics, I think it's on the first year of engineering, and I arrived at the second year, so I did all my chemical and physics studies there, and then the internship. So I think there are the main difference between the 2 universities.
I think that's an important thing. So you can, as João Pedro told you can adaptate the activity plans to try to combine the previous formation with the beginning of formation in France. So, for instance, students from the material engineering at URGS, they don't have the same kind of basic formation in mechanics, but they have a stronger chemistry, for instance. So you need to adapt it. And for the first semester, it's possible to follow in all the disciplines, all the courses, all the tests. That for the first semester. After that, you are going to do the full semester as any other student, another French student, for instance. So that's the one of the consequences to have this kind of contact we're going to have here, to adaptate the activity plans for each student, taking account the the specific previous formation of these students.
And just a little thing, I think Eric can explain better than me. But in my particular case, otherwise than internship, I was linked with a Contra Pro. I was the first student from abroad to have a Contra Pro at Montpellier, at PolyConnect Montpellier. And I think Eric can explain better which is a Contra Pro in France. So we'll be linked with a company. Since our last semester, we are already linked with a company, and then we will do our internship in the same company.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe one word on the Contra Pro. As Lionel explained, we have two kinds of studies, either regular studies, full-time studies. When you make full-time studies, you have 2 long internships at the end of the 4th and 5th year. Or you have the apprenticeship sketch. So Leonie and Fanny will explain better, and Denis will present the department. When you are in an apprenticeship sketch, during the 3 years, you are hired by a company. You spend half of your time in the company, half of your time in the school. The Contra Pro is in between. The last year of the study, the 5th year, you are hired by a company, and you spend basically half of the time in the company. The first semester, you have a long project in relation with the company. You also follow courses. And the second semester, you are full-time in the company. So some of the departments, like maybe Catherine and Laetitia will precise, because some of the departments have lots of Contra Pro, lots of apprenticeship sketch in the last year. In the materials department, it's like 1/4 of the students, something like that. So there are those who make this final study project with their company, or those who make that in collaboration with the university labs. Now we are switching to mechanical engineering. So as we said, we have 2 kinds of departments, regular department and a department by apprenticeship. Denis, you will say 1 word about that?
Hi. It's not my department, so I want to speak about my colleagues. Mechanical department, ME, is a theoretical department of mechanical. It's a master level program to handle cross-functional issues relative to mechanic, multifunction material, automatization, and life science. I think that the keywords resume the formation. You can find biomechanics, structural calculation, mechanical design, mechanical robotics, digital simulation, 3D printing, biocompatibility system. The target profession is master scientific or technical, and they know the main tools to optimizing complex system, optimizing with computer, with software, and so on. And they know to integrate various types of constraint, ecological, biological, in the product design. You can find research and development engineer, engineering firm, project manager, product manager, company founder, or business energy. And they can work in every sector, because mechanic is in all sectors. Thank you. Now I'll let place to 2 students who from Department Mechanical Industrial Structure, and they want to present the department.
Hello again. My name is Fanny. I'm very happy to be here with Leonie to present our formation, MSc, Mechanic of Industrial Structure.
Hello, my name is Leonie, and I'm very happy to present our school. It's an opportunity for you to discover our specialty, and if is sorry, is opportunity for us to discover your school. So we will talk about a location. Sorry for the video, but it's not ready to, but it's not. It's broken. Yeah, it's broken. We will talk about location of school. Is not in Montpellier. The program of and the subjects. The opportunity after work, after school, sorry, and the conclusion. We can show you the video after, if you want. The majority of lessons are taught in Nîmes. Nîmes is near to Montpellier, maybe 40 minutes with a car. You have a picture of Nîmes city center and the picture of the campus of Nîmes. It's so pretty. Present the program and subject. We have technical subjects like welding, boiler making, regulation of pressure vessels, and material science. Then science subjects like mathematics, mechanics, and physics, chemistry, and humanities subjects like English, management, and accounting. You are different teachers, but the majority is science, technology, and management. We study a lot about welding and pressures vessels. Our training is a bit special because for 3 years we have we alternate between a period in class and a period in the company. So we can learn in school and we practice in company at the same time. So it's very interesting. And we have 8 international weeks during this year. And for example, with Léonie, we work at EDF, Électricité de France. We work in a nuclear plant during this formation. And we have salary at the same time, so it's very interesting. I don't know if I can... It's interesting. And after school, you can be a design engineer, project manager, or inspector. Business engineer, test engineer, and we will like welding engineer. So, if you want to discover welding technology, come back to Montpellier. It's a good city, good formation, and good beers. Good beers. Thank you. If you have a question after.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the water science engineering. So it's going to be very short. I was just limited to few slides, but he didn't tell how long I can spend explaining. So, oh, thank you. No, it's going to be short. So I just wanted to show you a few slides about the course program. And basically, so we have like 6 main disciplines in this water science engineering. So it's water treatment. So this one is, point is what? 0? Okay, so water treatment techniques, chemistry, hydrology, hydraulics, hydrogeology, freshwater hydrobiology, and microbiology, ecology. And if we want to know a little more about these disciplines, so about hydrology, hydraulics, and hydrogeology, is basically to learn how to manage flood risks, water supply network design and management, and natural water management. About water treatment techniques and processes, it's about water treatment plant design and management, and sanitary assessment. And about the environment, what we do is to perform ecological assessment of natural environments and also ecosystem management. And I think, yeah, and as all other engineering program, of course, we do have computer and modeling tools, and we have social sciences and humanities. And I think that's it, because after, it's somebody else.
Yes, we can talk about, or I think we can talk about our department all this afternoon, but they gave us only 3 minutes. So, Sean, if you want to join me. So I'm going to talk about the biological and food engineering department. As you can see, we can heat, it's a very funny department also. What I saw yesterday, I look at the program of the engineering here in food science, and it's very similar. So, Florencia, I think we can build a very good collaboration. So our engineers are trained to ensure the production of food and biological products, to develop also innovative products and processes, but also to optimize and make reliable, sustainable processes, and also to apply and enforce regulations in food. And why they can do that? It's because they have a very strong training at the interface between biology but also processes. So if you want to be a good food engineer, you should have basic knowledge on biochemistry, physical chemistry, but also on mathematics, fluid mechanics, and so on, thermodynamics, and so on. That's why you have some basic courses, but also courses in the scientific fields here. You have also a lecture of nutrition and so on. We have also the common program in human and social sciences that all the department of Polytech have. And as all departments, we have also different internships to do during all the 3 years. What is also interesting that to be a good food engineer, you have to practice. And in our school, we have the chance to have a very nice pilot plant. It is you can see here some picture. We have pilots. For example, here is to concentrate on the vacuum, it's to dry, and so on. So the students can practice the main unit operation in food science during the lab works. And that's all. Sean, tell me.
So the biological and food engineering specialization lasts 3 years and is punctuated by a set of theoretical and practical works, a lot of projects, and internship, in particular mobility abroad, and specialization and professionalization internship in order to prepare us to integrate the world work.
Are you a happy student?
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Thank you. So this was the end of the presentation of the department. Do you have any question on the pedagogic issues, the topics, the courses, the organization of the courses? So after this, we will go to the details of what we can offer to you and how you can visit Montpellier. And of course, after that, we have time also for discussion. But then we take a discussion from Nicolas.
Sorry, I arrived late with a few students from the computer science department, so you may have talked about it before. Could you please repeat very shortly the offer for computer scientists in computer science or microelectronics? I'm sorry.
Separate perhaps two things, because we have computer science and we have computer engineering. which is a little bit different for us. For the computer science, what we have is a specific training track where you are going to have a mix between informatics, computer science, and management. That means that we are going to have classical information system design, data engineering, data scientist, of course. We have also software engineering and software architecture, but we have 35% of the lecture which are on management, accounting, finance, and also audit and consulting. That means that we train also the students to see how we can prepare, in fact, the job of the students to these directions, especially to computer science. Okay, and it's for these reasons that we call that computer science and management. Okay, and we see that here what we have in terms of job offer after the degree. Of course, they can continue in PhD in classical computer science, but they can also have and to be a consultant, can be audit consulting, we can IT project leader, IT architect, IT developer. Okay, it's really in fact the focus of the computer science part. And then we have another part which is more computer engineering. In fact, we are going to have microelectronic design. Inside, in fact, this diploma, you are going to have two tracks. One which is microelectronic design, and another one which is robotic. And that means that when the students are going to arrive in Montpellier, they are going to have the first semester, which is microelectronics and control engineering. And after, they are going to make a choice for the semester, the next 2 semesters, where they are going to decide if they continue in the track microelectronic or the track robotic. And for instance, you are going to see here the main keyword, which is of course microelectronics design, electronic and embedded system in general, control engineering, and robotics. And if we take a look to the lecture and the different lecture, you have control engineering, electronic, computer science also. You are going to have mathematics. So mathematics is everywhere, in fact. And also analog design and digital design. Okay, and after you have also a set, of course, on the robotic, if we wanted to follow, in fact, the robotic track. Okay, clear for you? Yeah? Clear for the students also? Yeah? Good. Any other question from the content of the courses?
France was one of the birth of metallurgy, the modern metallurgy was in France, one of the most important countries in the world. My question is, why you don't have a metallurgical engineer course?
So I don't know if I can answer completely, but I can say that both in the material science department and the mechanical department, there is a big amount of metallurgy.
I'm studying metals for the last 47 years without to consider the engineer course. And I don't know nothing about this. And I think it's impossible for somebody to be very good in ceramics, polymers, and metals, of course. Then my question is not, of course, criticize the materials department. That's not the question. Is to ask you if the student did herself or himself only to one of those 3 areas, or they study the 3 areas the same amount?
So in the materials department, what we want is that to educate students on all kinds of materials. So during their studies, they will study in a balanced way all kinds of materials. But of course, at some times they will specialize because they will choose a specific topic for the final project. They will choose some internships, which will allow them to specialize themselves. But we want them to be able to be hired in companies which work on different kinds of materials, and most of them to be able to assemble these materials, to design composites, and to work in different fields. So it's a kind of generalist department regarding all types of materials.
just comment. Ivan, I think that's another of option. It's like a short blanket. So you need to choose if you are going to propose a formation for a specialist engineer, so you can have a metallurgical engineer, or has a ceramics engineer, or even a polymer engineering, or then propose a formation of a materials engineer, a generalist materials engineer. That's what one of the reasons, because the double diploma agreement was so easy between the materials, the material engineering formation at UFRGS and at Montpellier, because our materials engineering course here, formation here in material engineering is a generic formation. It's a generalist formation, has the formation proposed at Montpellier. I think you can find, I don't know, so that in a so detailed way, the proposed formations of material engineering in France, but perhaps in another university, in another engineering school, they propose a more focused formation from material engineering, more focusing in metals or ceramics, and so perhaps this would be a best partner, for instances, for a partnership between our base undergraduate course in metallurgical and some possible partner in France. I think that's a very important thing to know, that you need to find a good partner, something that you have a complement formation, a complementary formation, but using similar approach. It would be very hard to match the formation proposed here in our undergraduate or material engineering course with a very specific course in France. So I think that's a good point.
And metallurgical engineer, you understand that? That is, my question was
some more information. Of course, we have the material science department, which is something which is as described by Eric, which is quite generous. But in fact, the metallurgy one is the department managed by Denis, which is a department which is where the students are in apprenticeship. That means they are in companies and also at the school, but it's really focused on metallurgy in this case. Okay, and here it's really mechanics for metallurgy and material science for metallurgy. Okay.
Any other questions on the courses and content?
Hi, I have a question about the food science school. So I'm from, no, yes, I'm from the chemical engineering, and we don't have this basic knowledge about biology, and I would like to know if would it be a problem there.
We have at the first for the first year, we have students coming from chemical, so there is no problem. In fact, there is a, but if she will came on the second year. Yes, if you come for just a semester, you can start with all the new students, and you will have some basic knowledge to have the same background level. For example, you will be strong in chemistry, but you will have some remembers and of courses of microbiology and of biology. So it's not a problem at all.
Other questions? Okay, so on this slide, we would like to summarize all the opportunities that you can offer to you. So, as we mentioned, that's a long time that we welcome FRGS students, and we would like to continue to develop this. So we have been talking a lot on the double degree in the framework of the Brapitech. So far it was for computer science and engineering, electrical engineering or microelectronics, and material science. The new Brapitech is for these topics, and probably it's quite easy to include mechanical engineering. No?
It depends. Perhaps it's would be easier to include a control and automation. Let's say that in English. Control automation.
Automatic?
Because you have here at FRGS also the undergraduate course of control and automation engineering. So that's a profile quite similar to electrical engineering. So it can be easier.
And what about mechanical engineering?
What?
Mechanical.
Mechanical, I don't know. For the materials formation proposed by Polytech Montpellier, I don't think it will be quite easy.
For the mechanical engineering.
For mechanical engineering, it's
too
not
early.
in the scope of the BRAFTech project.
Mm.
You can adapt it,
Mhm.
but you need to be very flexible. I mean, but it's possible. That depends of demand. As the total number of scholarships are just four for UFRGS, it depends of demand, but usually students from materials engineering, electrical engineering, and computer engineering are enough to fulfill all these four scholarships. If you have some problems to fulfill this code of four scholarships, you can try to enlarge for other students or students of your formations. That's the real situation. The number of scholarships really small.
Okay. So then, beside this double degree with the grant from the Brafitech, we can welcome all of you in all fields for 1 or 2 semesters as exchange students, but unfortunately without grants. So we will do our best to have new grants in the future, like we would like to organize a new Brafitech in the fields of water and food. So please keep informed with your supervisor on the development of these new grants. Then what I have to say is that when you come to follow courses with us, you have to have some basis of French. I think for the Brafitech, the minimum level is B1 now. And you have to remember that most of the courses will be in French. In some departments, we have a selection of taught in English courses, but you can never follow only taught in English courses. Most of your courses are in French. I think in your case, it was 100% of courses in French, right?
Because
to follow the courses in French?
for me personally, in my case, it wasn't so difficult because I started my French classes in Brazil around 1 year and a half before arriving in France. So I started to prepare before the program, but in terms of language, it's similar to Portuguese because it's the same origin. It has some adaptations, the accent, but it's not so difficult in terms of the engineering language.
But I think the important message, you need to prepare yourself. So if you are planning to go in France, so you need to think that at least 1 year before, if you want to go in a good situation, having already some basic domain of the language, because it's not just for the class, it's just not for the lectures, but we're talking about to live in a different culture, in a different society. It's going to be very hard to stay almost alone in a different society if you don't speak the language the people speak. So, and more. That's a good opportunity to improve your abilities. The soft skills for an engineer is a quite important complement of the technical formation. So you need to think that in the total plan of professional formation that you have in your heads. So you need to invest this. You need to plan. I think that's a good point.
Please keep in mind that in France, the schedules are quite dense. It's about 32 hours of lectures or labs per week. So at the beginning, it will go quite fast, even if you don't follow all courses. So French should not be an additional problem. You will have lots of work to follow the courses, to work at home. So if in addition you don't understand the French, it will be hard. So please prepare yourself and think about following French courses before.
How did you prepare for the more technical terms? For example, I can speak really well in English, but have a class in English with some specific. Yes. How did you prepare? Just reading, for example.
I think the article lectures and but it's a day to day, you know. You start to read, to listen, and you start to associate the terms and the technical language, and you start to learn. But it's a day to day process in terms of the engineering language, and I think the lectures it's very important to improve our technical language in French. But it's a day to day, even in the other terms. We go to the supermarket, we look at a product. So it's we say like that in French. We start to associate the words and all the expressions also. So it's
I think a good strategy is for the first semester you are in France to think in activity plan for your lectures, and when to put in this plan lectures in subjects you have not studied already yet, but another one that you have already studied here in Brazil. So you can share, you can have different levels of the difficulties, because you are going for this kind of lecture, you are going to restudy some subject, but in another language with another approach. So that can make it quite more easier, a little bit more easier to adapt it, to have this kind of development of a vocabulary, technical vocabulary terms, because you don't have the technical, the scientific issue. You can concentrate in this lecture almost just in the language. When for the materials engineering students, when I prepare the plan, I try to make this kind of mix, so they have the possibility for some lectures to have a lower technical difficulty, lower scientific difficulty. Those they can use this opportunity to improve the French language.
In general French, it's important to know that as a foreign student, you are obligated to follow French classes all the week. So you also have a French class one time a week during all your time in France. So you are obligated to follow the French classes. Even your French it's in a good level, you are obligated to follow all the French classes.
To complete that, during the whole semester or even the whole year, if you stay the whole year, you will have some French classes. Also, if you arrive earlier, I think in the summertime we can organize some French classes. No? You don't confirm? Not always? Yeah. Okay. Okay, maybe you will say a word about that. And also what I have to stress is that the schedule is dense, but there are not only lectures. As Juan Pedro said, there are a lot of practicals, labs, projects when you are in small groups. And in small groups, it's much more easy to ask the tutor to repeat or to discuss with the other students. So for half of the courses, lecture and tutorial, it's more difficult, but for the labs and the practicals and the projects, it's more easy.
And in the groups, you are obligated to join with all the French students. So you can't make a group with other foreign students. Every foreign student must stay in a French group. So it will help you to develop your French ability.
Okay, so these are courses. Then, as we said, you have also practical experience. So I already talked about internships. You will have 2 long internships. That can be one in a lab, university lab, research lab, and one in a company, or 2 in companies. And you will have a series of industrial research projects. The most important is in the first semester of the last year, called the final engineering project. It's about 300 hours. Either you are by yourself, especially when you are in Contra Pro, or you are in a small group of 2 or 3 people working in a topic which is proposed by a company or by a research lab. This is the main project, but you have a series of other industrial or research projects during your stay. So for those who come in double degree, you have to follow, there are lots of requisites. You have to follow most of the courses. If we can discuss some equivalences, and we can delete some courses. But for those who come for one semester or two, you can select some courses and then make some longer research project or internships in labs. That's quite flexible for this. That also answers the issues of French. Then the last offer that we would like to promote is the Flow Undergraduate Summer School. So I just say one word and then Laetitia will explain. And we also have two students who came and participate, and probably they will give a testimony. So the Flow Summer School is dedicated to our international students who are non-speaking French. So everything is taught in English. It's 4 weeks. We can give up to, it's not 10, up to 6 credits. There are different tracks, different topics, and you will be together with people from all around the world. So Laetitia will give the details, and that's also something that we like to offer. All of you are welcome, and especially we opened this year 2 grants for water and food science to start the mobility exchange in water and food science.
Thank you, Eric. So, yes, I'm going to show you a few slides for the FLOW program. So this year, the session 2023 will be from the end of May at the middle of June. So as you can see, it's a summer school dedicated to grand industrial and challenges in France. It is an undergraduated school. And what is important here is what is the aim of this school is to show you what you can do if you want to become an engineer in different area, and also to have an international experience. So it's a short program, 4 weeks, only taught in English. The bachelor, minimal bachelor level is, the minimal level is bachelor level. You are going to talk about engineering challenges. It's a face-to-face program. It was proposed in distance during the pandemic, but now it's face-to-face. So you have the students have has to choose between the 3 scientific tracks. The first is FIT. I'm going to detail a little bit the program. It's on food, wine, and water. The second track, scientific track, is on sustainable energy and materials. And the last track is on data and information processing. In parallel of this scientific program, you have a common social and intercultural program. So you will have some French language, just to know how to say bonjour, je m'appelle, où sont les toilettes, the same, the basis. 3 bières, s'il vous plaît. Voilà. And also, during this program, you will have a cultural program. You will visit a famous place around Montpellier. You know, Montpellier, near Montpellier, you have a Roman arena, amphitheaters, and so on. In Nîmes, in Arles. So you will be, yes, you will be. All the group will visit this famous place, but also you can visit a typical market in a typical village of the south of France, and so on. And also, here you are shared in depending on your scientific background, but here you are merged. Everybody is merged, and you are going also to work on a cross-disciplinary project on sustainability. So you will be in small group with students from informatic background or material background or food background. You will be in groups, international group. We make the groups, and we mix students from South America, from North America, from Asia, and so on. So it's very a challenging program, and you have to propose, you have to work on one of the 17 goals of sustainability dedicated, established by the United Nations. So it's a very challenging program, also very yes. And this year, what is the originality is you are going to carry out this project with a design thinking approach. You will have tools from the IBM company. You will have a teacher. She will come from the IBM company, and she will give you tools to implement a design thinking approach to find an innovation and so on. So very interesting. Okay. So this is this slide is for staff, not for students. So it's why we develop this kind of project. So I can pass, I think, this slide. Just I want to make a focus on the programs. So in the fifth track, you will have an introduction to food engineering, and this course will be taught by a professor from the Iowa State University. It is one of our partners. So the professor Rosentreter will come at Montpellier for this teaching. And it's not an introduction, it's not a list catalog of unit operation in food science. It is a course also on sustainability of these unit operations. You will have also a lecture in wine and beer technologies, so very interesting. You will test different wine, you will make your own beer, and after, when you will come back during the dinner, you will take your wine and say, wow, I think it's strawberry. It's like you will be very, you will see it's very funny. And after, the last lecture is concerning water science and technology. Donc, Cathy is involved in these courses, and these courses it's on water treatment, but also ecology, how to preserve these very precious materials, water. So the second track on sustainable energy and materials, you will have some lectures on energetic solution in the south of France, materials for sustainability development, and nanomaterials and nanotechnologies, on 3 main lectures. For this lecture, we have collaboration with other institutions like the National School of Chemistry. We have also sometimes people from the University of Sherbrooke and so on. And the last, yes, of course, welding. Yes, there is a practical or not practical? Yes, practical one day, and at the end you will be able to make your, I don't know, your nothing. In the fifth track, you are going you are able to make your beer. Okay, here, nothing. Okay. The last one is data information processing. So it's you will have a lecture on programmable digital electronics, operating and programming computers, and a course on big data management and analyzing. And this track is taught in collaboration with the French or not French, the company IBM, the international company IBM. Okay, so what I just want to say that here it's how to apply. I think I will send this flyer to Altair, or I don't know, to...
It's already available at the webpage of School of Engineering.
Okay, perfect. So you can apply. What is important, as UFRGS is a partner, the fees are here. And as Eric said, we offer this year 2 grants, so 0 here, for a student that will follow the FIT program. for this program, we offer 2 grants. Of course, you are welcome in the other track, but you will have to pay. But so what is important to say is so that these fees, include the accommodation and meals, the transfer, local transportation, the cross-disciplinary projects, the French courses, the visit, and so on. And concerning the grant, yes, you will just have to pay the fly to come in France. Okay, so I hope you will have some candidates for, I think it's a great opportunities. Now I'm going to... Yes, accommodation will be in hosting families, so you will not be alone in a chamber. No, you will be in the family. So I think Joao and Clara will give, you can say some words on the family and so on.
So hello everyone, I'm Joao. I'm studying mechanical engineering here in Newark. You're listening to me well? Right. So we were part of the flow last year. It was a really nice way to back to classes. We were studying online before, and then we started to have classes again in France, so it was a really nice way to come back. I took the SAM track, and Clara took the FEET, right? And what can I say? It was a really good experience. We had some classes. I had the opportunity to study some subjects that we don't have in our schedule here in Brazil in mechanical engineering degree. And we also had a lot of opportunities to travel around the south of France. We had a lot of good trips. We learned a little bit of France. And I think Clara can talk a little bit. Oh, about the family, sorry. So we stayed in host families. I stayed with Marilyn, which was a really good and nice mom for me. She did a really good, nice dinner. And what can I say?
I can start from the host family. This is like a important part because you can learn like how is the routine in France and how what do they eat and which time and how do they go into the city by tram, and you just get into the routine, and it's awesome. I loved it. I stayed with Dominic, and she was 70 years old. She was a single lady, like she lived alone, and she received students for over 20 years. So it was like she met a lot of people in her life, and she told me histories and stuff. So I had classes with the professor over here, water science. It was a nice experience. There is here is us. I'm over there. João is over there, and we met there. It's nice because we didn't see each other in Brazil. We just met in France. I'm from environmental engineering, and you are from
mechanical.
Mechanical, yeah. So in FIT we made our beer. Yeah, we tasted some wines, and I feel good about it. It was a nice experience. We visited a space where was projected for fish to pass through. So it was nice to see this structure. Here we have it, but I don't know, like we have in Brazil, but we don't go with the university to see these places. And we also studied about flooding and urban flooding, This kind of stuff is happening in Brazil. We can see like the news in São Paulo city, what happened just a few days ago. So it's an important field for studying, and it was nice to study this with Zavisca Professor Francois. I don't remember his name exactly, but yeah, it was a nice experience. If you can go, just go. It will worth it, okay? That's it.
Thank you. Question about this program? Ah bon, il y a une date limite. Yes, so the application deadline is noticed the 15th of February, but it was an extension of deadline, of course, and it is next week. It was next week. So if you're interested, you have to apply. When you apply, there is no, you have to apply. You mention which track you want to follow, and if there is a lot of students applying for FIT, we will ask for professor here to class to select the two will be to have the ground. Okay? Est-ce que tu veux ajouter quelque chose? No questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay. As you told, sometimes in small groups people gets less shine. So after the meeting finish, people will stay here. So please, if you are a little bit embarrassed to ask something, you can come. And so in a more private way, perhaps sometimes it's easier to try to get some answer or something like that. Okay. So now I'd like to invite Sandra. I can call a very old friend.
Thank you, thank you. So a few words, briefly, a few words about the International Office of Polytech Montpellier. We are dealing with student mobilities, and our job is to help you. If you want to come to Montpellier, we will help you to integrate the school, and we will do our best to help you for everything. So we are a small team. We are 3 people. I think we are small but efficient. And our job is to facilitate student life. So we will facilitate you all aspects. So we will, there is no problem without a solution. And we will find the solution for you. It's our job to find solutions. So if you want to come, don't be afraid. We will help you. We will help you to apply, and then we will send you a letter of acceptance, and then we will help you to facilitate your arrival. We organize a welcome day for at the beginning of each semester. A semester, the academic year in France is divided in 2 semesters. The first one, we call it fall semester because it's the opposite here. The first semester is starts in early September and end at the end of January. And the second is from February to mid-June. And we organize a welcome day to present the French education systems, to organize the visit of the campus, of student facilities, and we cover all aspects of student life. We give you some practical information about schedules, how is organized the school, how to open a bank account, how to register for health insurance, for example, these kind of things. An important thing for international students is accommodation. Accommodation can be very, very expensive in the private sector. So we organize, we have a specific procedure for international students, and it's cheaper. And we will help you to apply online and to book accommodation before to come. It's for reassure you, and so that when you arrive, the room is ready. You have just to come with your luggage and it's ready. And we have different price, different comfort price, but accommodation in Montpellier in a hall of residence is about 250 euros. It's a price. We coordinate also the buddy system with the students. We have a little association at Polytech Montpellier, and part of this association is dedicated to welcome students. So they will contact you before you come to Montpellier. They will pick you up at the airport or at the train station. They will coach you before you arrive, when you arrive, during your stay. And they also organize parties and cooking and so on. So they are very, very happy to do this. It's a small team, and they are very dynamic. And it's very important to you to be integrate and to interact with local students is very important, and to speak French. We organize also a mentoring system. If you have some difficulties with classes, with teachers, with I don't know, to connect with your emails and so on, we recruit some students, and they will help you for everything, and they will explain you how to do and what to do. iPads. So several lectures need to have specific applications. So we will lend you an iPad during all your stay with us in order to facilitate the lecture. And you will have all the applications in the iPad. French. Les cours de français. So, if you want to do a double degree, as Altaï said, you will have to prepare and to learn French before to come, maybe 1 year before to come, because you will have, you will be asked to have a B1 level, an intermediate level. But we organize a French course that is free for international students. It's about 30 hours by semester, and there is a level test at the beginning of the semester, and then you are divided in groups depending on your level. You will be able to improve your French level, not only to say bonjour, je m'appelle Pierre, but you will have to speak French, to communicate, and to write in French. That is maybe more difficult. So I hope you will apply for the summer school or for a semester, for an internship, maybe, or double degree. We are already ready to welcome you, to help you. You are very welcome. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
You have any question? Yeah.
A question, please. Here. I would like to know if there is any ad for food, like university restaurants or something like that for the international students?
When you enroll at the university, you can benefit from all services of the university as a regular student. So you can benefit from prices for a restaurant and all services of the university, health services, restaurant, accommodation, everything.
Okay, thank you.
The price, to give you an idea, for a restaurant, a price it's about €2, 2 or 3 euros to eat at the restaurant.
That's cheap.
And it's much better than here,
Okay.
he said.
Okay, but you need to know.
I don't know.
if you make the conversion, it's perhaps not so cheap, but in principle, if you go there, taking an internship like that one given by the BraftTech project, so you take an internship of I think 850 euros, and so by month, so it's enough to pay for lodgement, and also for food or something like that, and you have also some benefits for installation, so you can have some economy.
And you can also cook in the residence and take your food. And we are dedicated spaces to it for students. If you want, and it's cheaper, you can. Our students do this too, because for them it's also expensive.
More questions? That is a very important point, and this support and reception structure that you have at Polytech Montpellier, it makes a big difference. I think Jean Pedro could say just a few words. He has already his iPad here, because it seems that at the end he can buy it by
students in double degree students can buy at the end of the student can buy the iPad for a price,
80 euros
friendly price.
So I can just confirm what Sandra said. In my particular case, I had some health issues and I need some hospital cares since very the beginning, and Sandra was the key part. She made contact with the hospital, even when I was already in Brazil. And then I arrived in France. My name was already in the hospital for my health cares and everything. Sandra made all the contact. So it was very, very easy for me. The airport pickup just to take me to my accommodation. In my case, it was in the pandemic. It's a little different, but it's all worked. Some programs we didn't have the welcome day because of the pandemic, but I can confirm it works very well. The work of Sandra and Pascal at the international office, and for the students, even though the students board, they organize some events with the other students. We have the La Semaine Blanche at Polytech Montpellier. La Semaine Blanche, it's a week that we spend in a ski station, just to ski and to snowboard with all the other students. It's very, very interesting, very, very cool. We have all the parties and all the stuff organized by the student board, and the international office, it's very efficient. So I can confirm all that. And thanks a lot for Sandra and Pascal for all their help with me in this time.
It's important to say, indeed, in the BraftTech project, you also have some funds to pay the health insurance, because you need to do that when we are in France. So, but you get funds to pay that also. Okay. So, any other question? You want to say a little bit more final words?
I just wanted to present and to introduce Raphaël Brun. Raphaël is there. Raphaël, one of my PhD students. Come with me, Raphaël. He spent 5 years in Montpellier. If I remember well, you closed your PhD in 2014, right? Yeah, and also it's a good ambassador of Montpellier. If you have some questions about the life in Montpellier, he spent 5 years. He knows the city perfectly. You know also where is the beach. You know also where are the bar and the good beer in Montpellier. And I think it's also important to have discussion because it is a good ambassador. Do you want to say some word about Montpellier?
Yes. Yes, yes, till May actually, but I will still be there, right? So I'm a professor here in the electrical engineering department since 2017, and I spent 5 years in Montpellier from 2010 to 2014. I did my PhD there. Lionel was my advisor. Montpellier is a great city to live. It's, well, I can say that I have many good memories from there. It's quite an easygoing town. Everything is within reach. The public transportation is excellent. It's a reasonably sized town, so you don't have to go very far to see, to live well. The infrastructure of the University of Montpellier and Polytech is outstanding. So the housing and the campus, everything is great. So if you have any doubts, you can reach me and ask wherever you like. Of course, my experience as a student is a bit outdated now, but I had the opportunity with the project to visit Montpellier again in some opportunities and probably next year. So if you need anything, please reach me. Okay.
Well, no more questions? No? Wonderful for the conclusions. Just to conclude. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Nicola. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to be with you at 10 o'clock, if I remember well, because I'm going to give a short lecture of my research area. It's something that we start with Raphael. And if there is other students, I can also give an overview of Polytech, of course. That is clear. And we have the fly back, I think it's Friday morning. Okay, but and we are going also to continue, of course, by mail. If you have some questions, you have all the contact, of course. You have Raphael, you have Altair, and you can ask the question directly with Sandra. Is going or okay. You have here the main email address, and you don't hesitate to contact us, of course. And just, of course, to conclude, I think that when I was student, I don't have the opportunity to have, in fact, this kind of grant to go outside, to visit other university. It was not really so usual to do that. I think now it's a great opportunity, in fact, for you, for our students, and to share, in fact, and to open the mind to the world. And what we propose here, in fact, is to have a very, very exciting experience in Montpellier. Perhaps you are going to choose other city. It's not a problem, because the main idea is to try to build the world of tomorrow, and you are going to be certainly one of the most important people to construct this world. Okay, thank you.